Hey everyone, Foxitor here. Welcome to the draft analysis for the UPBA Season 3. We're back. I'm really happy to be in this league again. We played in it last season and we did quite well, to be honest. I'm really happy with how we did then. So I'm hoping to improve on how we did last season. And let's just get into draft. Let's not stick on like introductions, that kind of stuff. First pick, Latios. I really wanted to try Latios. Latios is one of the most potent wall breakers in my opinion. It has a base 130, let me check that. Yeah, base 130 special attack stat with a base 110 speed. So there's really nice speed tiering with a really nice special attack stat. Like a Specs Draco or a Specs Psychic or a Specs Size Shock from this thing absolutely hurts. Like Size Shock is probably what makes it one of the better breakers in my opinion. Because like even if you have a dedicated special switch in such as Blissey, Blissey doesn't like taking a what's it called, a Specs Size Shock from Latios. So like I think being able to hit on the physical side as well is what makes this thing really nice as well. Of course, Specs is not the only set it can run. It can run Calm Mind, it has Defog as well. It's really supportive. You can run it bulky, it has a really nice Spit F stat at 110. So there's definitely options for Latios. Let me move the microphone for a bit. Yeah, that's how it has to be. Okay, so Latios first pick. Let's move on to the second one, which is Fable. Yeah, Fable is the one I used in the UPBA season, I think it was season 3, I don't know exactly. Fable is such a good mon, man. Like, Life Orb, Magic Guard, Calm Mind is amazing. Just Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Moonblast is amazing. It gets like 100,000 different types of coverage. It can pass wishes, it has recovery for itself. It can be unaware as well to stop sweeps from going. Like, this thing is a do-it-all mon. That's why it's so expensive. It's also one of the better bulky fairy types. So yeah, Clefable is just an amazing mon. Like I probably don't have to tell you how good Clefable is, not only in like the OU tier but in draft as well. You can run it physically defensive, you can run it specially defensive, and with leftovers it has like its stats are not that amazing if you look at it on paper, but with leftovers it has like almost exactly the right amount of bulk to not be 3-hit KO'd or not be 2-hit KO'd by moves. So like Fable is a very, I think it's still a very weird mon in my opinion. Like looking at the stats, it's not that amazing, but like when you use it, it's an amazing mon. I love using Fable. So yeah, that's Fable. Next pick is, let me see, Skarmory. Yeah, completing the Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which is kind of boring, kind of predictable in my opinion. But I really wanted to use Skarmory. I think Skarmory is really annoying to play against if you have physical mons that can't hit it super effectively. Like I had Excadrill last season, and Skarmory is an absolute bitch for that. So just Skarmory, you do it all. Physically defensive tank with recovery, with spikes, with Stealth Rock, with body press to make use of its massive, I think it's a 140 base physical defense. Yeah, 140 base physical defense. So it's kind of your do it all physical tank. Too bad it doesn't have U-turn, that's left to Corviknight, but it's still a very good mon, especially at 13 points I think. So yeah, completing the Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Skarmory here. So yeah, really excited to use Skarmory. As you can notice, I'm kind of rushing through this. Next one, Conkeldurr, another one I really wanted to use. That's kind of the theme of this draft, is just using ones that I haven't used yet, or that I just really want to use, like with the exception of Clefable I guess. Conkeldurr hits like stupid hard. Whenever I try to prepare for Conkeldurr, I just can't. It has a base 140 attack stat, and with Guts, it has like Facade, which hits incredibly hard. You'd think, okay, like I can use my Zapdos to switch in on this thing, right? No, what's it called? A Guts boosted Facade hits amazingly hard. It also has Rock Slide. It has Earthquake, if I'm not mistaken. It has Earthquake. It has Bulk Up, it has Drain Punch, Close Combat. It has like basically everything you need in a physical attacker. It gets Mark Punch as well, amazing priority in Mark Punch. So this thing is an amazing breaker, amazing cleaner as well if you're able to get everything like a Mark Punch range or like a +1 Bulk Up Mark Punch range. So yeah, this is an amazing one. Like also ability wise, it has one of the best ability pools in my opinion. Like Guts is amazing, Sheer Force is amazing, Iron Fist for all the punches is amazing. Like this one has the perfect offensive ability pool to choose from. So yeah, really excited to use Conkeldurr. Wanted to use it for a while. It was either going to be Conkeldurr or Terrakion in this spot, but I think Terrakion got drafted either right before or right after Conkeldurr. Like, I just really wanted to draft Conkeldurr. So yeah, moving on. Let's see what we're doing here. I picked Gastrodon, really cheap mon, especially that early on in the draft. I needed a bulky water type and preferably also a really bulky ground type. I think Gastrodon is kind of a cheap version of that. It has only one weakness, which is grass, but it's easily worked around with like a Rindo Berry or something. It has a really nice HP stat. Like, let me grab its stats real quick. It has a really nice HP stat of 111, and a base defense of 68, which isn't great, and a base speed up of 82, which is decent to work with. Like, this is one of those ones that has like a really nice HP stat and not too impressive defensive stat, but still works really nicely bulky wise. It gets recovery for itself in the move recover, which is amazing. It gets skull to cripple physical opponents. It gets earth power. It gets earthquake. I don't think it gets stealth rock. No, it doesn't get stealth rock. It gets yawn. It can be a really annoying mon, especially if you don't have the right monster break it. So yeah, really happy to just grab Gastrodon. It's just a do-it-all bulky mon, you know. So yeah, really happy. It also can run a curse set. Like, I've seen people run a curse set on Gastrodon. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, if that actually works, if your opponent doesn't have anything to deal with it immediately, a curse set is actually amazing to use. So yeah, looking forward to using Gastrodon here. Next pick is Drapion, another cheap pick. I went quite expensive in the first two, maybe even first 4 picks. So I was like, I can look at the cheaper picks and look at what like works for my team, and then later in the draft I can spend some more points, you know. So we picked Drapion. I needed the dark type. I really wanted a poison type as well to either set toxic spikes, but that's what Drapion does. It can also like absorb toxic spike. It's a dark type that's not weak to fairy, so that's also really nice. This is just a really nice one. It gets Swords Dance as well. It has a base speed of 95 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, really nice base speed to sit at. Its attack is 90, so it's not that amazing. It has a base defense of 110. Doesn't get recovery, which is a shame. It gets knockoff, which is really nice. Taking items is definitely an amazing capability to add for a Pokemon. So yeah, Drapion, another really cheap pick, but definitely worth one in my opinion. Next one, also one that I drafted before, and a one that I really love is Barraskewda. Like, Barraskewda outside of rain functions like almost equally as well as in rain. This one can hit amazingly hard with Choice Band. It has a base speed of 136, which is like one of the most challenging things I think in drafting, is getting a high base speed mon. Like, I mean 120 plus at cheaper prices. So not your standard, what's it called, Tornadus Therian or Zero Aura, but like looking at those cheaper tiers, what's a mon with a high base speed? And I usually gravitate either towards Barraskewda or Inteleon, because those have higher base speeds and still hit decently hard. Barraskewda has a base attack of 123, which is nothing to mess with. With Choice Band, this thing hits incredibly hard. It can flip turn, like if your opponent doesn't have like a water type, water absorb mon, sorry, this thing can flip turn for free and deal actually massive damage with Choice Band, which is amazing. Because of its high base speed, it can clean games really nice as well. It gets Aqua Jet for priority. I think this mon, for the price it's at, has some very impressive tools it can use, like priority, gaining momentum, just hitting incredibly hard. So yeah, really happy I was able to grab Barraskewda. I loved using it in the what's it called, IBA, and I'm gonna use it again to some extent, to some success, I hope. So next one I drafted was Circuitry. Like, Circuitry at 11 points kind of amazes me. This one has a base special attack stat of 173. That's amazing. Like, and at 11 points, I know it has a base speed of 83, which is not amazing, but it's not bad either. With a Choice Scarf, this thing can actually steamroll teams if you get rid of that ground types. It gets Volt Twitch for some nice momentum gaining. It gets Energy Ball to deal with the ground types that electric types usually can't deal with. You can run Choice Spectrumite as well. Of course, it lost Tail Glow in this generation, which is maybe one of the things that made it better in the previous generation. It also lost what's it called, Z Hypnosis, to boost its speed. because that was one of the things that really enabled it to pop off, which is maybe the reason that I dropped to 11 points. But still, like a 173 base special attack, like even if you hit like a non-stat move, it doesn't even matter anymore. If you have a base 173 special attack stat, it's still gonna hurt. So yeah, really glad I was able to pick up Circuitry here. Next one I drafted was Cryogenol. Now, Cryogenol, another cheap pick, but a really nice one in my opinion. It has a really solid special defense stat at 135, based up by an HP stat of 80. So that's kind of decent. Heavy duty boots really help this one in not taking too much rock damage. It's a spinner, which is nice. It gets iron defense to boost its defenses as well. So it can be bulky both on the special defense side and the physical defense side, which is nice. Even offensively, this thing isn't that bad. It has a base special attack of 95. And when looking at what wants to switch into an Ice Beam, it's usually a water type, right? This thing gets Freeze Dry as well. So offensively, I think this one is actually not too bad either. So it also has a speed tier of 105, which is kind of nice. So this thing can either be offensive or just a rapid spinner, or your do-it-all, especially defensive Pokemon. So I think for the prices that, Cryogonal is a really nice pick. Next one I drafted is Rotomo. So these are the picks that I'm not too sure about, to be fair. Like at this point, like you can either draft 10, 11 or 12 months. And I had, what was the budget? 15 points left. So I was like, I can either spend those 15 points on one Pokemon, or I can grab 2 or 3 months with them, you know? But the only one that was sitting at like 15 points was Toxapex, and I really didn't like how Toxapex looked on this team. So I decided to split them up into like over 2 different Pokemon. That wasn't really what I had in mind, so it kind of disrupted my drafting plan. But I think we still came out quite nicely. I don't know. We grabbed Rotomo. Now, Rotomo, another momentum gainer, another electric type, but it doesn't suffer the same ground weakness as Circuitry does because of the levitate ability. So that's really nice. Also, a really offensive grass type. Like, Leaf Storm usually really hurts. It gets Nasty Plot, which is amazing. It gets Defog, Will-O-Wisp, Paint Split. So some really nice support options as well. It's a really nice, you can make it a bulky pivot, you can make it an offensive pivot. Yeah, I think for the 11 point prices at Rotomo is really nice. I've never used like a Rotom form before, I think. No, I've used a Rotom Frost before, but I really want to use the Rotom forms more because I usually think they're kind of underwhelming, but I really just want to play with them in draft. So here's Rotomo, and the final pick is Trevor. Now, I don't like that I'm doubling up on the grass types here. I really don't. But I really didn't like anything else at the 4 point price, so I was like, okay, I'll just grab a Ghost type Pokemon, because Ghost Spam is like one of the most powerful tools a draft team can have, I think, in my opinion. There's very little that wants to switch into like a Choice Band at Poltergeist. That's why I like mons like Trevenant and Dalmise and other, physical Ghost types so much. It's just really difficult to switch into a Choice Band at Poltergeist. Trevenant has more tools though to work with. It gets, I don't think it gets Synthesis, which is kind of too bad, but it gets Horn Leech and Leech Sheet for recovery. It also gets Drain Punch, I think, but you probably won't really use it. For the abilities, it has Natural Cure, which is nice. It also has Frisk. Frisk is a really, really useful tool. I don't think I've ever drafted a mon that has Frisk, if I'm thinking about it right now. But Frisk is really nice. You can just lead this thing and immediately find out an item, which is super, super nice. And Harvest if you want to run a berry on it. Like, Harvest combined with a berry actually gives really nice recovery as well. So even though Trevenant doesn't have any immediate forms of recovery, it still has like decent forms in Horn Leech and Leech Sheet and Harvest. So yeah, really looking forward to using Trevenant in this draft. So overall, I really like the top picks like Latios, Fable, Skarmory, Conkeldurr. Even Gastrodon, Drapion I really like. Barraskewda is like a really, really fun one to use as well. Circuitry I'm looking forward to using as well. Cryogenol, kind of a meh pick, but like I kind of like it. And Rotomo and Trevenant, like those weren't really planned, but I think they were the best picks that were left on the board at that point in time, and I think they kind of work well for my team. Another thing that I really don't like is that I really don't have like a dedicated specially defensive wall. Like, of course, Larius can be, Fable can be, Skarmory really doesn't want to be, Gastrodon can be, Drapion, like, really doesn't want to be either. And Cryogenol, of course, can be, but Ice typing is not the best defensive typing you can have. Rotomo also can be, I guess. Also, like, especially offensive fairy types I have a really difficult time dealing with, because my poison type is part dark type as well, so it doesn't resist fairy, and therefore the only fairy resist I have is Skarmory, which really doesn't like taking special moves at all. So especially offensive fairy types is something I really struggle dealing with, but I hope we can make it work. If not, I might have to do some trades, some transactions, but I'll just use this team for now and see whether it's actually necessary. But I'm really looking forward to using this team. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.